welcome back to the channel. It's Lauren. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're doing well. We're doing a chill little Scent Sunday video today. I decided to sit here today to do this, so I hope you don't mind, but I'm excited because we're talking about coconut perfumes. And honestly, coconut for the longest time has been one of my favorite scent notes. It's always like, you know, you go into Bath & Body Works, you go wherever, and there's tons of summer scents. There's mangoes, there's pineapples, there's like salty, clean, fresh air. And I always go for that coconut scent. That's always been me. And so when it comes to fragrances, I really enjoy finding ones that have that coconut note in them. And it's interesting because my nose has definitely been changing and I still love coconut, but I'm realizing I'm a little more picky about how it's done than I used to be. I'm a little more into something more woody, maybe a little less sweet, just more interesting, I guess, than something that feels a little linear or just like a coconut candy. Like, I don't know, I need a little bit more. So I went through my collection. I picked out my favorite coconut perfumes. I actually have quite a few more perfumes with coconut notes in them, but I really wanted this video to be about coconut dominant perfumes and also ones that I really enjoy. Like, these are more recommendations than just things I own. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy. I'm not gonna go in any particular order, but yeah, I thought I would give all that disclaimer just because I feel like more recently that's been a big change. Like the fact that I can't rely on coconut being this like love for me as much as I used to. It can be an indicator that I'm gonna like a perfume, but I definitely look at what else is in there. Whereas before, if it had coconut in it, that alone was like, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna like it. So anyway, let's get into it. I'll explain more as we go. I'm probably just gonna start off with my favorite one. I said no particular order, but here we are. This is like my favorite coconut perfume in my collection. This is in my top 5 for sure. If not, maybe top 3. I don't know, it's hard for me, but top 5 for sure. This is Juliet Has a Gun, Sunny Side Up. I actually don't hear a ton of people talking about this perfume. I actually found this or like decided to blind buy this because I was looking on Fragrantica, saw the notes and was like, that sounds amazing. I already knew I liked the Juliet Has a Gun line. I had a few other perfumes from the line already. So I was like, you know what? This looks like amazing. And it was. When this came in the mail, I was like, oh my gosh, best blind buy I've ever made in my life. Unfortunately, I still have like fake tester strips, but I'll try not to sniff them up my nostrils this time. One of the things that made me so excited about this perfume is that it has ISO-E Super in it, which is one of my favorite notes in perfume also, and it's like this woody note. It's so good. I love Molecule 1 from Eccentric Molecules, so I was like, oh my gosh, I think this is going to be heaven, and it really is, you guys. This is a woody coconut scent. It almost has something lactonic going on. I believe there's like a coconut milk note, but it has like this creamy sandalwood. I believe there's jasmine as the floral in it, but none of this comes off as floral. This is like kind of dry, although I just said milky, but it has this beautiful woody coconut scent. Because the ISO-E Super's in there, I just find it lingers so well. Like, you'll just get whiffs of this. And when I first got this, Sam was the one who was wearing it a lot, and my goodness, let me tell you, I'm like, you smell so good. You smell good. Freaking love this. Although this is coconut also, I mean, it's definitely good for summer, but I really feel like this could be all year round. Like, this could be a signature. And lately, I've actually been putting this with Baccarat, like layering them, and I have gotten compliments every time I've done that. Every single time, people are like, what? You smell so good. What is it? And I'm like, let me tell you my super expensive perfume combo. But it gets the compliments, okay. People love ISO-E Super. People love Baccarat. So anyway, let me read you notes. This has Vanilla Absolute, Amorous, and Jasmine in the top, Sandalwood, Coconut Milk, Orris Root, and Jasmine in the mid, ISO-E Super, and Ambrette or Musk Mallow in the base. It is just so good. Definitely musky, definitely woody, kind of powdery. I don't know why powdery and lactonic and milky kind of like sometimes come together. I'm like, but it feels contradictory. But I definitely get that powdery note, but I get something kind of, you know, it's that like nice to me kind of milkiness going on. I freaking love it. I think it is so good. Definitely get a sample, obviously with everything, even though I'm raving about it, get a sample. Because, you know, sometimes with these types of scents, you might not be a fan of ISO-E Super. You might not even be able to smell that note. And that's one of the things that make it so good to me. So if you can't even smell that, because sometimes that's a thing with that note, it might not be good for you. Or maybe the way the muskiness is, or even the jasmine in here, maybe it doesn't play well with your skin. So always, always, always sample stuff. And I'm telling you this, as you already know, I blind bought this, but I'm sometimes making decisions I don't know about, but that one was a good one for me, and I freaking love it, and I hope if you try it, you love it too, but I always suggest sampling. I'm like just going in kind of my favorite order, but they're all different enough that obviously I like having all of them. But the next one I want to talk about that I also feel like not a lot of people talk about, this is Solar Bloom from Clean Reserve. This one is so interesting. I had many samples of this actually that I went through, like vial samples, and I knew I wanted to purchase it. It just took a while to get there. And I was sampling this and knew I wanted this before I got really into perfume. I just knew that this had like a beautiful warmth to it, and it has a coconut note as well. But again, it's not like super beachy, like, you know, I always think of just like a beach party or pina coladas or something like that. There is something beachy, but it's more like you're going on vacation and you're at the beach, but you have this really nice like cabana bed in the sand and the sun's going down, you're watching the sunset, you're drinking a nice drink. It's not even tropical, it's just the setting's tropical. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need the tropical drink to put you in the tropical mood or vacation mood. You're just enjoying this luxury moment with this warm, sensual coconut type fragrance, you know? This also has some interesting notes in it. It has coal, it has also patchouli, which I find interesting that I liked this before I was into scents and really looked up that it had patchouli in it. And I don't think it's like very strong patchouli. It's not like the major note, but now that I know that, I'm like, oh, okay, that's adding this kind of richness to it that is giving it something a little bit different. So I definitely, I like this one a lot. I think it's very warm. Something about it's definitely comforting, and it reminds me of more like the sunset, like that golden hour moment. You're not even in a swimsuit, like you're in a button down that's gauzy. You know what I mean? On your little cabana bed. Okay. I mean, that's like the full-blown fantasy. Obviously, I'm wearing this like normal times. Okay, so this has top notes of bergamot, mandarin orange. It has coconut milk also. I think it's interesting. I definitely enjoy coconut milk over like coconut water, just want to say. But middle notes, coconut milk, orange blossom, freesia, jasmine, and then the base notes, vetiver, coal, patchouli. It's so interesting because it says on the accords too, it's citrus, it's woody, it's aromatic, and like, I guess that's right. I just don't pick up, I don't know, it's just really well blended. It just is nice. I guess I smell that vetiver though. There's something kind of dry about it. It's just really beautiful. I really like it. It is citrusy, but there's that coconut as well. So I don't know, give it a smell. I think they sell this at Sephora. So if you have a Sephora store nearby, I think you can, you know, pretty easily smell it in there. Next, a more affordable one. This one is still in the top though of my coconuts. This is the Coconut Palm from Mix Bar. I think this is nice. This is probably the most coconut out of everything so far. You definitely get that coconut, but it's also woody, which I love. It's also sweeter than the other two. This has definitely this nice sweetness. It's not overly sweet at all. Still kind of stays airy. It's almost like coconut sugar crystals and wood to me. Like, that's how I would describe this, because it does get kind of sweet. Yeah, coconut sugar crystals with wood. That's a good one. That's totally it, because it's kind of airy too. This has notes of coconut, vanilla, sandalwood, woody notes, musk, salt, and seaweed. I don't pick up a ton of the salt or the seaweed. I think they're just there to balance. Like, that's not what my nose picks up. I definitely do get that vanilla though, the woody notes and the coconut more than anything. I think the salt, again, just balances it so it doesn't turn too sweet. Something in there almost comes off ambery to me, and it's right on the verge of being like toasted, or yeah, like almost like a burnt sugar thing going on. It's like right on the cusp, and I find that so interesting, so good. I freaking love this, and it's like $18.99. It's so affordable. I definitely suggest smelling this. I think they sell this at Target, so hopefully you can get your nose on it there so you could actually test it. But that one's a really great one, and it's affordable, but I don't feel like I only like it for the price. I just genuinely like that scent. I feel like if a more expensive brand came out with it, I would also still like it just as much as I do. And it's just like amazing that it's at a good price. Next is one that's different definitely than everything we've talked about. This is Atelier Cologne's Pacific Lime. This is definitely going to be a little bit more difficult to get. I think you can still get it at like Nordstrom, or you might be able to find it at a really discounted price because Atelier no longer is selling in the US. But this is another one. As soon as I smelled it, I was like, I really like that. I know it has coconut, but this is super limey. This has a lot of citrus, but specifically lime. And so this is very tangy and tart and refreshing in that way. And then it has that coconut as well. Yeah, this is just so refreshing. If you don't like citrus, this might not be one for you. I love that this is tropical and like refreshing without being sickly sweet. It's not syrupy, you know, or anything like that. It's just, man, makes you want to take on the whole day. And you can see this in the notes. It has notes of lime, Italian lemon, coconut, mint, and eucalyptus. So it's like aromatic like as well. That mint in there is not, now that I know it's in there, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're right. But I wouldn't have picked up on that. I just thought it was like lime, but definitely I can smell those aromatics. I just think it's a really nice fresh take on coconut if you don't want something woody. Yeah, I know I've mentioned a lot. I'm going to mention a lot of woody ones. This is a really good one, and it still gives you the tropical vibes without being like, you know how papaya and mango and pineapple, like all those ones, like the Bath & Body Works candles like that, they're super tropical, but sometimes can just be a little sweet. This one has all the tropical vibes without being too sweet, and I love it. Next, let's talk about Nest Madagascar Vanilla. This is going to be my kind of vanilla coconut scent that I have in here. I know a lot of people love Alien Goddess from Mugler. Oh my gosh, I have like this dry patch in the back of my throat that's making my eyes water, and they've already been like just dry all day. I feel like they're SpongeBob out of water. That's how my eyes have felt the last couple of days, and I'm like trying so hard with drops and it just doesn't help. Doesn't help. Anyway, Alien Goddess, I have a travel size of that, and I was thinking about putting in this video. I don't dislike it, but I don't love it. I really don't. It's good. I see why other people do, but I find the dry down on that just gets really powdery on me. And out of all the different Mugler fragrances I've tried, I do like it like one of the most, but it's still not quite it for me. This to me is more my style of a coconut vanilla. That's where I was trying to go with that. This is actually a perfume oil. I got this in a vanilla set from Sephora, and this was the one I picked out that I could redeem my coupon for. I wish so badly that it was just in a spray. I would probably use it a little bit more, but this I tend to use like at night or maybe layering. Ooh, but I love this vanilla coconut scent. It's so rich and creamy and kind of warm and sensual as well. I also feel like there's something kind of woody and not quite custardy. I think that's like wrong, but I don't know. It's just definitely rich like that to me anyway, to my nose. Sam doesn't really love this type of vanilla, but oh, I do. I think it's so good, and I feel like it's the vanilla coconut scent to me that doesn't get powdery, because I don't really, again, love that about the Alien Goddess. So I love this. I think it's so great. This is definitely more, again, sensual coconut vanilla. Like there's something about it's warm, it's cozy. I could see it on like a hot night just smelling so good. It's like close to the skin because it's an oil. I think it lasts a long time, but you know, it doesn't project a ton. But there's something about that that's just so nice, and it's beachy, again, without being too sea salt air. I don't love salty perfumes overall, I would say. I don't like things necessarily that have marine notes and all that, but this feels like almost like the beach, warm beach sand with that vanilla and that coconut. Like, oh, I can just picture it. It's beautiful. So good. Another one you can definitely try and smell at Sephora. The only notes that show on Fragrantica are vanilla bean in the top, vanilla orchid in the mid, and then coconut in the base. So it's pretty simple, but again, really quite beautiful and not overly floral, which I really like. And I'm gonna say here, you've probably noticed I haven't been mentioning some of the classic, I feel like, suntan lotion coconut scents. They're really not my thing. I've only been more recently getting into white florals, and I feel like so many of the kind of suntan lotion coconut scents feature white florals so heavily, and I hate it. I really hate that. So a lot of my fragrances don't go that way. I have a few. I have two to talk about that I do like, but I feel like they're like the exception. So one's a classic, Bronze Goddess from Estee Lauder. Now this is like almost as close as I go, but this one still has, again, we're talking about that kind of warmth here. I feel like that can really save a coconut perfume for me. This feels light and refreshing and is perfect, again, for just like everyday summer scent where you don't want to be too heavy, you still want to feel clean, you don't want to be overly sweet and sticky smelling. I think this one's a really nice one. There's also a bit of citrus, at least I just got a bit of citrus right now. It's pretty classic. I feel like, I think it comes out like every single summer, but I feel like it's one that I can get down with. There's other ones out there, Beach by Bobbi Brown, like other beachy scents, like those summery beachy ones, and I'm like, I can't. I can't quite get down with them. But this one has enough of that like amber and that warmth that it doesn't get too floral and it doesn't get too suntan lotion in a way that I don't enjoy. So this is notes of bergamot in the top, it has tiare flower in the mid and coconut in the mid, and then in the base has vanilla and amber. So not too many tropical florals or white florals going on. So I feel like that, again, it saves it. So if you're looking for that like beachy fragrance, like coconut fragrance, almost like more in the suntan realm, this would be one of my recommendations for that. The other one that only more recently have have I been able to get down with. Like I said, my nose is changing and I've been able to tolerate white florals if they're done well or done in a specific way. And so Kayali's Utopia Vanilla Coco 21, finally I'm like, oh, I kind of get it. When I first ordered this, I have like the small one, I sprayed this and was like, are you fucking kidding me? And those white florals, they are heavy in here. You gotta like them, but there's something about it. It reminds me of the coconut version, maybe less sweet, not as marshmallowy, but like Love Don't Be Shy. It has a similar thing to those, but then it has this beautiful coconut coming in underneath, and I'm like, okay, instead of marshmallows, we got coconut going on and vanilla. Like, it is the summer tropical version to me of Love Don't Be Shy. Like, honestly, not as sweet either, but that's what I smell now. So now I'm like, okay, I can get down with this. This also, to me, is very potent, so it's gonna last you a long time. Again, there's something kind of sexy about this one. I think a lot of the ones that I'm talking about, I feel like could be kind of sexy. Maybe the Sunny Side Up is just like unisex and kind of woody, but I think it's sexy, especially when Sam wears it. I already covered that. Honestly, in general, I just think the Kayali fragrances are done really, really well. They're a little bit stronger, and I feel like when I first got into perfumes, I was like, ooh, it's a lot. All of it's a lot. But I feel like maybe as your nose kind of gets more experience and maybe heavy scents don't seem as heavy, at least that's how I've been experiencing this. I've really been enjoying so much of the Kayali line. So this has coconut milk, honeysuckle, pear blossom, Italian lemon in the top, jasmine sambac, tuberose gardenia, and ambrette, musk mallow in the mid, and then bourbon, vanilla, sandalwood, musk, patchouli. That bourbon vanilla, I'm telling you, it comes through. There's this richness. It's beautiful. The patchouli's not too much. Tons of florals though. Like I said, you gotta like those florals. This probably is the most like traditional of that sunscreen, like white floral sunscreen smell, but that vanilla bourbon and the way the coconut's done just balance it out enough. There's something about how it's done that works for me now that I'm like accepting that into my life a little bit more. It's really beautiful. I just have the small one though. This probably lasts me forever or quite a while, because again, I would not overpower myself with this 3 sprays, and I'm telling you, I'm someone who sprays quite a bit. I find that it's very potent. It lasts a really long time as well. So if you want a fragrance that's really gonna last, this is probably one of the longer lasting ones here. I feel like this also lasts a long time on me because that Isoe Super, again, that note kind of whiffs around and stays for a while. Even if I go nose blind to it, you know, it'll randomly come back to me at a time and whiff past me, and I'm like, oh, it's still there. And other people tend to still smell it. So those are probably my longest lasting ones out of this. Okay, 2 more fragrances to talk about. This is one I actually didn't initially love when I got it. I was excited for it because it is a coconut, I feel like, version of light blue. And at the time when I bought this, I was like, I like light blue. I don't own it, but it was a scent that I remember really quite liking. I like that fresh, clean thing going on, especially, again, before I got super into perfumes. And so then when I got this, I was like, like, I don't know, it felt kind of too clean at the time when I initially got it. I think I was just expecting something different. This is light blue. Like, you gotta like light blue, and I know a lot of people don't. You have to like that citrusy kind of musky smell, and I do find that there's just like a coconut twist on it. It's not super strong, but I do enjoy it. I do like it now. I feel like it's more for that, again, clean, fresh, crisp smell. It's definitely more on the musky side and not as like overtly fruity. I mean, it's definitely citrusy, but it's not overtly fruity like Pacific Lime is. This is tropical fruity, but not sweet, you know, and it has the mint. This one is citrus, coconut, and then again, kind of musky, and that's how it dries down too. It dries down into that like clean kind of musk scent, which I actually really enjoy, and it's a good one for, I feel like, hot weather when you don't want something too heavy, but you want to still feel fresh. So that one just took a while to grow on me, and that's one of the reasons I really try not to just like get rid of perfumes. My nose is changing so much that even when I buy something and it's not quite what I want, I try to keep it around for a little bit, maybe a whole season or a whole year, just to see if like I come back to it at a different time and really enjoy it, and then can get some use out of it. The notes on this are coconut nectar, lemon, ozonic notes, and Granny Smith apple in the top, frangipani, jasmine, and white rose in the mid, bourbon, vanilla, white musk, cedar, and ambergris in the base. So I don't feel like the vanilla bourbon in here is nearly as sweet. I don't get that in the base. I get the woody notes, I get the musk notes, you know, it feels kind of dry and clean, in that base to me, and I don't get a ton of that vanilla, and especially not vanilla bourbon, but still pretty great. I've really enjoyed this, and I feel like it was pretty affordable. I bought this one off of Fragrance Net, and it wasn't too expensive, so that was nice. Last, we're closing it out with another woody coconut scent because you know, you know. If you like the idea of, let's say, the light blue Sun, Dolce & Gabbana light blue Sun, but you don't want the citrus as strong, I feel like this has the same vibes or could be similar, but it's more like woody, dry coconut. Ooh, it's like clean. It's also kind of like the Juliet Has a Gun. It kind of falls in line with this one if this is one you already know you like. Again, woody, but it's not so milky and creamy. That sandalwood isn't, it's not creamy like that in this one. This one feels drier, more like musky. It's crisp, you know what I mean? I realized I don't even know if I told you what the hell this is. This is Floral Street's Arizona Bloom. This has notes of coconut, salt, musk, cashmere wood, fig leaf, ooh, yummy, amber, black pepper, jasmine, and oak moss. There aren't like a ton of woody notes in here. There's that cashmere wood, but there's something about this that's definitely more unisex, I feel like. It's definitely just my vibe in general. I get the fig leaf. Sometimes fig and coconut go hand in hand, but this, again, it has more of that. It's the leaf of the fig. It's not super fruity. It's not super sweet. I mean, I would say it's not sweet at all, honestly. And I do get the black pepper a little bit. It's not spicy. You don't get the spice of the black pepper. It's almost just like the smell of black pepper without that spicy note, if that makes sense. And yeah, you're gonna want to like musk. It's almost kind of cooling though, to me. I know it has the amber in it, but it doesn't have this warm thing going on. To me, this one's definitely a little bit more cooler or neutral in terms of temperature feeling in the smell. Does that even make sense? And this one feels like a little more underrated as well. Just in general, Floral Street, I feel like gets left behind a bit. But this is another one you can sample at Sephora. So I feel like it's nice. It's a little more accessible if you have a Sephora near you. So those are my coconut perfumes. I know this might not be like the normal coconut. I don't know. I don't know what's normal, but those are the coconut scents that I have in my collection that I really love. I have one coming to me. It's called Blue Heart. I believe the brand's pronounced Thameen. And I heard about this from Sharita M here on YouTube. You guys have to check her out. She will make you want to buy every fancy ass perfume out there. Like, I'm like, stop it, girl. I cannot afford this. But she was talking about this fragrance in a video I watched. Then she did a dedicated review to this perfume, and it had notes of like saffron, sandalwood, I believe coconut, something else. And I was just like, this sounds amazing. She's raving about it so much. I feel like we enjoy similar scents. Like some of the stuff she raves about, I'm like, yes, 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 yes. So I just went and bought it, and I'm glad I did because it sold out. I'm pretty sure she sold that shit out on Selfridges, so I purchased it over from Selfridges, and that's coming to me. I haven't smelled it yet. Total blind buy. I hope I love it. I have a feeling that I will. I really think I will. So that one's coming to me, but I would love to know what other coconut scents you like out there, especially if you have some of my favorites as your favorites. I would love to know. I'm definitely still into coconut. I just don't love everything anymore, or I guess since I've realized that, yeah, I don't love everything, I'm a little more skeptical of a coconut note in a fragrance, and it doesn't immediately mean I'm gonna love it like I used to think. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video and hanging out with me today a little. I feel like it was a more chill video, at least for me it was, over here sitting on my floor. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.